はい、ゴリタンです。今日は前回に引き続きアレックスコリアーさんからの情報です。今回は字幕をつけました。アレックスさんの素敵な声とともにお楽しみください。
But there was a group in our military that wanted the technology, and what they got was their throwaway stuff. They got the Orion group's trash. But that was 400 or 500 years more advanced than what we were using. But nonetheless, it was trash to them. But there were other members that were part of that group that moved away and continued to maintain a positive relationship with others. We don't hear about that. And we will, at some point in the future, hear about that. That was the positive piece. We hear about Val, but we don't hear about the other races that were also involved. So there was always this white hat element that clung to the ideas, okay, we have to figure out a way to undo this, or we're all screwed. And so that's been going on in the background the whole time. And there's been an exchange of information, there's been an exchange of knowledge, there's been an exchange of strategic moves and ways to do things that would not draw attention to work in a positive, benevolent way in between the spaces so that you could hide what you were doing from the regressives, who their whole focus was, of course, control and domination. But, they had areas of their vision that they were blind as well. And those were used in order for the white hats to set up where we are today. As soon as the Orion group implemented their plan, benevolence also set up another plan, but they didn't overtly interact with anyone except very specific people that they knew and had a relationship with and trusted. So they were working as well with us, with our militaries, and then our militaries were talking to other militaries about ways to not only push back, but to limit the speed in which the Orion group was rolling out their control and domination, in creating the matrix, literally entrapping all of us. So they had a way to slow it down, and then at some point, we began to position ourselves, the white hats in any way, to position themselves that at one point there would be this moment where every system that the regressives had would be vulnerable with one specific chess move. One strategic move would take down everything that they had done. And they were planning for this moment. And Michael, we're living in that moment. Right now, we are living in that moment where everything that they built, the entire matrix, is now collapsing because of a very specific strategic move that the white hats, with the help of benevolence, were waiting for. And this way, there's no Third World War, Fourth World War. There isn't any of that. There isn't an intentional pole shift throwing an asteroid at the planet. There is no real, genuine biological attack on humanity. None of those things are happening because of the ability of the white hats to position themselves for this strategic moment. And we are now living in that moment.
So we really are kind of like moving into this positive timeline that those that talk about
we are
that we're on it. They're on the,
Yeah.
that those that talk about the negative timeline, whether it's a pole shift, a solar flash event, some set of catastrophic events that decimate humanity, that those things are not going to happen because this positive timeline is something that is essentially we've all agreed at an unconscious level to move forward collectively in this way, and that this is something that the Andromedans and the other positive extraterrestrial groups have worked with the Earth Alliance, the Positive Military to bring this moment about. And so we're just kind of watching it all unfold now.
This is going to happen. This is absolutely going to happen. You know, we don't have to be afraid. What we have to do is embrace the change. And, you know, some people are afraid of change. But, you know, this is what it is. I mean, every day is not the same. Every day changes. Your life changes even in little minuscule ways, but it's never the same day after day after day. Something's always different. So that's where humanity has to do. We have to realize that we're all in this together. We're all going to evolve together and move through this process together. And on the other end of this, you know, we're all going to be best friends. Humanity will become a family because we've just been through something absolutely extraordinary. And we're the ones that are doing it. You know, we're the ones who are doing it and have done it.
Earlier, I mentioned 2024 as, you know, a possible date for a global revolution, but you think it's going to happen a lot sooner than that. So
it's happening now.
Okay,
it's happening now.
So,
you know,
so
in July of
people...
next year, sometime in the first 3 weeks of July next year, we will get hit with the light from that supernova in Cygnus Alpha that exploded in the early 1600s. Okay, now the gamma rays have started to come. The gamma rays travel, you know, twice the speed of light. So we're beginning to get those now, but the light itself will come through sometime in the first 3 weeks of 2022. And my understanding is that band of light, as it moves through our solar system, we will not have a nighttime for 3 days. You know, not enough people are actually talking about that, in my opinion. I don't know, but I know that's coming. And, you know, that's July of next year is when that light passes through our solar system.
So between now and July, I mean, because a lot of people are suffering, you know, in some very challenging circumstances. So they're looking forward towards something to hope for. So, you know, are we looking, say, July when things are really going to start? And it's like, you know, we are now moving into something really wonderful.
Well, things are already turning. Things are already turning. We just don't see enough of it manifesting on the surface just yet. It's still all behind the scenes. It's very strategic. You know, we're all ready for some change. Whenever there's a disaster somewhere, that tends to be where humanity is at its best. People come out of the woodwork to help each other. Well, this is one of those situations, except it's not a physical disaster. It's an emotional disaster. It's a spiritual disaster. Because, you know, these dark hats, you know, they put in motion this program to eliminate huge portions of the population on this planet. That was intentional. And that's all of us. You know, that ain't white, black, green, yellow. That's everybody. They didn't care. Well, guess what? We're all on the same team now. Okay? We are all on the same team. We all need to be on the same side at this point. There, you know, this nonsense, this racial nonsense. You know, we are one race, one family. That's just what it is. And you know what? That's how they see us out there. They don't look at us and say, he's an African American, he's an Armenian, he's a Russian. They never look at us that way. They look at us and see humanity. That's what they see. We're the only ones who don't see it. It's so frustrating. You know, and that's why a lot of times I'm up there and I'm like, guys, I'm good. I'll just go back with you. I don't need to come back. There's nothing here I need. And they're like, no, you can't do that. I'm like, why not? I'm good. I'm ready to go. Try to tell people and you're yelling into the wind because no one wants to hear it. You know, all these resources from the galaxy are here to assist us. There's obviously a reason. There's obviously some value to us that they would expend all these resources to assist us.
というわけで、ネガティブタイムラインがなくなったっていうことですね。本当良かったですね。アレックさんの話はスケールがいつも大きくって、いつも圧倒されてしまいます。この元動画は1時間以上あります。でもとっても興味深い内容なので、よかったら概要欄にリンクを貼っておきますので、ぜひ見てみてくださいね。はい、じゃあね。